Hey everyone, this is Nia at Cozy Homeschool, and it has been a year since I think I made the last one of these YouTube videos. And I guess I had some things happen, one of which was this little baby right here. This is Lyra May, and she was born May 29th, and she's 2 months old, and she has the hiccups, and she's the best. This is our third child, and so a year ago, when I started the YouTube channel, started making the YouTube videos, I had actually was going through a miscarriage. So I had a miscarriage at 13 weeks, and that was really difficult. And then going through that and then getting pregnant again, and it turns out this was the worst pregnancy of my life. So from dealing with pregnancy to homeschooling, trying to just survive, I really could not muster up the strength to do more YouTube videos, and I was really disappointed because I had such high hopes to come on here and give a review halfway, and then I was going to review the curriculum from last year, and I just didn't get to it. So here we are, and if you follow me on Instagram, I will say that that is what I update most often. So Cozy Homeschool on Instagram. I also have a Facebook page. So if you follow me there, you will find more information, more tips and tricks, more up-to-date stuff. And I share a lot of stories for fun. I just find it's easier. Sometimes making a YouTube video and uploading it does take a little more time, a little more mental thought. And so I usually just share on Instagram or Facebook because it's in the moment. I can take a quick video of when I'm actually using the curriculum, or if I see something and think of something, I can just do it right then and there. So I tend to stay up on that a little bit better. But thank you for all the kind comments, and everybody's so sweet on the videos that I have posted a year ago. And like I said, I had such great hopes to keep it up and do more of it. Maybe I will have a little more time now that I'm not pregnant. So happy that was over. And Lyra is a great little baby. So I have a daughter who's 6. A son, Lena is 6, Nigel, our son, is 4. He'll be turning 5 in December. Lena's 6, turning 7 in November. Lyra's 2 months, so we'll see what homeschooling is like with a baby around. But I'm so excited. My kids are actually at a drop-off homeschool co-op Tuesdays and Thursdays just for the month of August. And so we will be doing a soft start for homeschooling, but I wanted to jump on today and share a video about what we're doing for Nigel's curriculum, and he will be PRE-K-4. So this is his pre-K year. He's 4, turning 5 December 21st. Here in New York State, we go by December 1st as the cutoff. I know every state is different. I'm from Pennsylvania, so it was September 1st, I believe. But for him, it's his pre-K-4 year, and he will be going to kindergarten next year. Okay. But the great thing about homeschooling is that you can meet your child at the level that they're at. And so maybe they are pre-K4, but maybe they're a little bit ahead, and you can start curriculum and really diving into learning to read. And that's awesome. You can tailor that to your child, or maybe they're not quite there yet, and that's okay too. Maybe you need to just still work on the alphabet, work on the letters. Nigel right now, I will say he knows all of his letters. He can identify them, and he knows the sounds for the letters, and he can count really well. He can count, I don't know, 60, 70, maybe to 100 at this point. He really loves math. And so for him, numbers are pretty easy. I will say that I'm noticing he's probably not going to be at the same level that my older daughter Lena was at in regards to reading, but we'll see. I have 2 different curriculums for him. I will be using The Good and the Beautiful, and in a second I'm going to go through all of the curriculum that I chose for Nigel. And for the bulk of it, really is just The Good and the Beautiful, Simply K, and it's not kindergarten level. It's the Simply K that really is a pre-K4 level, I would say. And then you don't really need a separate math curriculum. However, like I said, he really enjoys math and he loves numbers. So I actually ordered The Good and the Beautiful Simply K math curriculum that it's 120 lessons, and I'm planning to do half of it this year if he can, and then half of it next year. And so really I'm going to take that 120 lessons and I'm going to break it down and just move a little bit slower and do it over 2 years. So you don't have to report kindergarten. Here in New York State, it's not mandatory. So make sure you check your state and your local laws. We don't have to start reporting until the child is 6, which is technically first grade. Okay, so this year for him and next year aren't reporting years that I have to send in paperwork with the school district, but we're still doing them. We're still learning. So my favorite thing to use is a 5-star hybrid flex notebook. I keep all of his little subjects in here, and what I want him to get accomplished for the week, I keep it in this notebook. Why? It's less books, it's less things on the table. It's easy for him to get out by himself and put away. And also it's very portable. Isn't one of the great benefits of homeschooling be able to do it anywhere? And so we love that we can take this to the park, we can take this in the car, we've taken it on vacation, and all we have is this. And mentally it helps me and my children to know this is what we have for the week. However we can get it done is great, we just need to get it done. And so here's our binder, and I have it broken up into, sorry, this is fine. You know, moms, we can multitask. I have it broken into Bible. So for him, for all of my children, I will start with Bible as a family. And we do that for 10 minutes. We use Grapevine Studies, and I have a pre-K to K level, and it actually has traceable pictures. So he can trace on the lines. He doesn't have to come up with the stick figures and the drawings by himself. So as you can see, this is Grapevine Studies, and he can trace it. So Lena, who's a little bit older, she has those boxes, but she doesn't have the traceable pictures. So she can come up with her own pictures. But for Nigel, for that 4 or 5, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6, depending on your child, they can trace it. Okay, so we have Grapevine Study, so that's Bible, that's 10 minutes. Next, I do 5 minutes of handwriting. That's it, 5 minutes of handwriting. The Good and the Beautiful has a great handwriting program. There's a little bit of handwriting in the curriculum that I have for him, the Good and the Beautiful, now I'm forgetting what it's called. The Good and the Beautiful Level K Primer, that's what it's called. So I have the Level K Primer for Nigel, and it has a lot of stuff in there. Handwriting, letter recognition, it has some numbers, some math, it has logic, poetry, it has cutting. So there's, and cutting and pasting. So there's many different activities. So that's the main thing that we're using. So I have that in there. And then for math, like I said, I have a section for math. I will be using the Good and the Beautiful Math Level K, Simply Math. It's back over there, but okay, there it is. I shared it on my Instagram page, so if you want to see that one, you can jump over there and see it. And then we're a Classical Conversations family. So if you don't know about Classical Conversations, it's an international homeschool community. It provides a great curriculum for a backbone, and we really use this as our jumping off point. So we use Classical Conversations and CC for the bulk of our information and our memory work. We do our memory work in the car. That's mainly where we do it because we're in the car a lot. So we're listening to it in the car. Or if we're listening to our memory work at home, I have great coloring sheets, or I bring out the Play-Doh. We do Wiki Sticks. So we have a lot of great things that we can keep their hands busy with while we're listening to the memory work. So I have his, hi, what do you think? Can you give a little, do you see yourself? Do you see yourself? What's happening here? My earrings like woven into my hair. Oh, hello. Say hi to all your fans. You're gonna get stuck in this, in the mane, honey. Okay, you know, I don't have much time before I have to keep my hair up and never wear earrings or necklaces or anything that I value. But it's so worth it. I love it. Okay, so we have a CC section, and then I call it unicorn. Why? Because it's fun. But unicorn are the subjects that we just do once a week, like history, science, social studies. I tie in etiquette, STEM. STEM we really do once a month. But our subjects like history, science, social studies, we kind of just do a little focus on it once a week. And so that's my unicorn section in his binder and in Lena's binder. But for Nigel, it's a little less. I will say, how much sit down time will I do with Nigel? We could really do about, I would say, 20 minutes segment of sit down, 15, 20 minutes of focused, intentional learning where I am next to him. And while I'm doing that, Lena will either be doing independent work or I will set up stations. So my goal this year is at my dining room table, I have these little activity trays, and I'm going to put 6 activities for the week. And then I'm going to have one child at the activity table doing stations with their own timer so they can move around. And then while I'm doing 15-20 minutes with one child of focused learning, the other one will be working on stations, and then we'll switch. So I'll sit with Nigel, I'll do 20 minutes. That should cover the bulk of it. Like I said, I do Bible and handwriting with them both together at the table, and then we switch, and Lena might focus on her language arts, and then Nigel's at the stations, and then we switch. I give Lena a station break, and then I focus with Nigel. So I'm planning to do like 2 15 to 20 minute segments with Nigel. That's it. I'm gonna do one, and then he's gonna go to his stations, and then I'm bringing him back. I'm gonna do a little focus on math, and then I'm gonna send him back for stations. A lot of his learning will come through play. I love smart games. I'm gonna show you here in a minute all of the fun learning tools and learning games that we have to break out for him either independently or in the afternoon. I will sit with him and maybe we'll do a fun game. Or really, if you have an older child, what I found works really well, and it might not work for you, so you gotta try it out. My daughter, I have a strong little mama as my firstborn, okay? And if I put her in charge and say, Lena, I need you right now to do this activity with Nigel and help him with his letter sounds and his numbers, she will love that. God bless you. And I also find that Nigel loves listening, and he will listen to her if I put her in charge. So moms, dads, be creative. Have your older siblings in charge with some of the youngers, or here's another idea. Sometimes I will save Nigel's reading. So I try to make sure that every child hears 20 minutes of reading, okay, of something higher than the level that they're at. And so if I'm gonna read during the day, it'll put me to sleep, okay, unless I've had too many cups of coffee. So sometimes I'll save that 20 minutes of reading for Nigel when dad gets home. Or at nighttime. Dad does bedtime a lot because I have the baby, and so I will say, okay, Jeremy, I need you to read to Nigel. Just read to him for 20 minutes. Just books that they like, they enjoy. Sometimes we do great novel, chapter books, and we mix it up. But be creative, have dad help a little bit, have an aunt, an uncle, someone else. Sometimes if I have a babysitter, I'll be like, hey, can you read this to him? Because I'm just being honest. Reading sometimes puts me to sleep. So this is the main bulk. It is his PRE-K-4 year, and he does classical conversations at community 1 day a week. We are involved with that. And then we really are at home doing school Monday morning, Wednesday morning, Friday morning. I've had to have boundaries. I've had to say no to a lot of fun things that I want to do, because if you homeschool, you're going to find that there's so many ways to socialize. And it's funny because that's the number one question I get asked. What about socialization? But there's so many things to socialize and be out of your house, not doing school and doing the fun stuff, that you really have to learn how to say no at times. And it's hard because I'm a social person. I'm an extrovert. So we've said no to some co-ops, said yes to classical conversations. And I also run an electives co-op that we meet twice a month. And then there's another field trip co-op that we're a part of that meets the other 2 times a month. So really Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're doing classical conversations and electives and field trips. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday mornings is when we're really focused at home getting our stuff done. Now that's only 3 days a week. Usually that's plenty for their age and to get stuff done. But we also can use Saturday mornings. My husband has meetings on Saturday mornings a lot. And so if I need to use a Saturday morning, we'll do that. Or a Sunday afternoon, we come home from church, we might have downtime. And so we might do school on Sunday afternoons. So we're flexible. It could happen in the evenings, the mornings, at the park. Sometimes if we go out to eat and we're just waiting for our food, maybe we bring our math lesson. I don't know. We just get creative, and school can go anywhere. That's what I love about it. So Nigel, like I said, is 4, turning 5 in December. And I'm going to share what we're using for preschool. Some of you have asked about Timberdoodle, and I've shared before about Timberdoodle kits. We used Timberdoodle for 2 years in the past. This is the first year that I have not ordered a Timberdoodle kit, and here's why. We love Timberdoodle. We invested in them. They are awesome kits. When I was starting out in homeschooling, I needed a kit that just came with everything because I couldn't piece it together myself. Now that I've become a little bit more confident in my homeschooling, I'm definitely eclectic with my curriculum. I like a little bit of this, I like a little bit of that. I found that I did not continue All About Reading, and that's the language arts curriculum that's in a Timberdoodle kit if you buy the kit. So I didn't need that. I also didn't continue math UC. We use a different math, a different language arts. And so if you're using something different for math, something different for history, something different for language arts, it wouldn't make sense to buy a kit. Now, what I do love is that if you're a first-time homeschooler, it can be easy. Just get a kit and know that you don't have to be a slave to the curriculum. You can make it work for you, and you don't have to use everything that comes in it or every single day, but just focus on the main things and then sprinkle in some of the other stuff for fun. Now, the kits, if you do invest in them, I'm finding that I'm going to use them for all my kids, multiple children. I bought the I brought the PRE-K curriculum kit for Lena. I am now using a lot of those materials with Nigel. So a lot of our books, a lot of our smart games, learning activities, I'm using all of those that are from Timberdoodle with Nigel. So if you're looking at Timberdoodle and you like it, you're not going to go wrong. It's great. Also, I did a preschool kit for Nigel. I found that a lot of the things he liked and he used, but a lot were a little bit too young for him. He was already past it. But I was excited because I knew we were having a third, and now I have stuff to use for Lyra in about 2 years. I can start using it. Some stuff maybe in a year, working on sorting and whatnot. But she's a baby. We're taking it slow. So you will have those things. So if you're looking at Timberdoodle, you're not going to go wrong. If you've seen my Timberdoodle videos, they're great. I invested in them some 2 years ago, and I'm reusing a lot of the stuff. So it's great. We've also just shifted to some other curriculum, and I'll share with you what we've shifted to and why. And if you have any other questions, leave them in the comments below. I will try my best to get back to them. But hit subscribe. I'll try to do a better job this school year in keeping up with my YouTube videos and my channel, but definitely jump over to Facebook and Instagram. Instagram's the one I usually do the most of, and you're gonna get some good stuff on there, and it's quirky and it's fun, and it can be random at times, but that's just me. So here's a visual run through of our schedule here at the Cozy Cottage Schoolhouse. We always start out, hello, big finger. We always start out with Bible from Grapevine Studies, the PRE-K, and Nigel is using the stick figures, so it's the traceable ones. My daughter is not, so it's a blank square, but he is using the ones you can trace. So we start out with the Bible lesson, and we pray together as a family, and then from there we move on to notebooking and handwriting, and basically he does a little bit of handwriting practice, and also we're working on, his name, first name, last name, my telephone number, his home address. That would be the notebooking section. We talk about the weather, the date, and then we move on in language arts and math. And so I will show you, we use the good and the beautiful for the bulk of his curriculum, which is only really 20 minutes. So for Nigel and PreK, the language arts and math would be combined. And so he would be doing those for 20 minutes. That's the good and the beautiful. Pre-K or level K primer, level K primer level. And then we are a classical conversation family. So that would be our CC memory work. I would do that with his sister. So we would be doing that together. During these other times, he would be doing a station while I'm working with Lena, and then we would switch. Lena would do a station while I work with him one-on-one. And then these are the lessons that we call them unicorn. We just made it up because it's fun. We do one lesson a week. So I use this to keep track of, Monday we're focusing more on science, STEM, etiquette, history/social studies, and health and safety. And then we have some options for them in the afternoon. Instead of watching a show, we have things for an hour total after lunch, ideas that they can do. So for this, science and STEM, a lot of this for Nigel would be through reading books. And I'll show you what we have. A lot of his learning is from lap reading. So we will do some things from the level K primer, the good and the beautiful, and also CC. But for the most part, he is learning through play, hands-on through learning games, and then sitting on my lap, and we're doing some reading together to talk about the information. So like I mentioned before, we're a classical conversations family. So the backbone of his curriculum, and the same with for my daughter Lena, would be the foundations guide. And we are doing cycle 1 this year. And so this is the backbone, and I'll show you the subjects if you're not familiar with CC. We cover math, Latin, science, English, a timeline of the world, history, geography. We also cover science experiments we do at Community Day, and fine art, so music and arts, orchestra. So there's 24 weeks, and so the information it's memory work. So we listen to that whether we're in the car or at home. If we're doing memory work, I might put Play-Doh out for him or a coloring sheet so that he's listening to the memory work while keeping his hands busy. So like I said, this is the backbone of our learning, and I'm doing this with Nigel and Lena. We're doing it as a family. It's ancient kingdoms. So a lot of the information, like history, so say we're doing ancient Greeks, well then I might, if I want to focus a little bit more on the ancient Greeks that week, I might just get a book from the library or use the Usborne World Encyclopedia and dig a little bit deeper, or watch something free on YouTube that talks about the Romans. And then if we're doing science, I have a way to just dig a little deeper if we're doing vertebrates, or if we're doing abstract art, I might dig a little bit deeper into those fine arts. So the main part of their curriculum is through the Classical Conversations Foundations. Then the next thing I would say, order of importance, would be his Level K primer course book from The Good and the Beautiful. So this is focusing on phonics. It's talking about sounds. There's a little bit of handwriting in here as well, so you're kind of checking that box. And there's a lot of fun activities. It's very colorful. We did The Good and the Beautiful last year for preschool, and also for my daughter, we did the upper kindergarten. She's now going into level 1, first grade, but we're working on phonics, rhyming words. There's also poetry and art mixed in, which I really love. What's what makes it good and beautiful. So this is going to be the main focus for language arts. And it also comes with my first reading book. So towards the later part of the year, he will be working on reading this book. So we have this and this. And also I would say the other things that are the focus would be what your preschooler needs to know. So this is really a lap book, but if you're wondering what skills does my child need to know before they go into kindergarten, and this lays it out so easily for you, and it covers many different subjects and material. So really just reading a different section each day throughout the school year, and by the end of the year, you will feel confident that you cover the information your child needs to know before they go to kindergarten. Like I said, where we start out before, we start out in Bible. So this is the curriculum that we've been using now this will be our second year using it. It's Grapevine Studies. It's great. I feel like it just makes, I actually spilled coffee on it. So there you go. That's life. So we read about a topic. So this is about the 12 spies, and this is what I read. And then they are drawing in their notebook. I will show you. This is his 5-star flex notebook. So I keep all the subjects for each week in here. So if we're doing Bible, we would go to, let's see, this is Jesus Taught. So we already did this one. So he's tracing. So I like that for his age, it has the outlines, the traceable, so he can trace over this. As he gets older, these will be blank, so he won't need to trace. But we talk about this, and then we ask questions at the end, and then there's a memory verse, and we pray. So that's Bible, and then from Bible, we would move on to, there's some handwriting, and I would have the handwriting in this section, but handwriting is also in the Level K primer. There's some handwriting, or I might just have a simple sheet with writing manuscript. We're not doing cursive at his age. We would be working on manuscript. And then the language arts portion, I would put some of his papers from here. So why I like this 5-star flex notebook is that I put the information that we need to work on each week. So it makes it more manageable instead of having lots of different books, different papers. So I keep it all in here. So I have a little bit of language arts, a little bit of math, his classical conversations, memory work in here. So it'd be sheets. And then unicorn would be the subject like history, social studies, science, that we would do one lesson a week in there. So this is his notebook. He's very proud of his notebook. Put some stickers on it. So we have Bible, handwriting. You can use, really there's a lot of free stuff on the internet you can use. I also like these handwriting practice where you can put your child's name. So it says Nigel Bates, and it's from handwritingworksheets.com. So you can put in your child's name, you can put in your home phone number to practice, the address. So we have the Bible, we have what your preschooler needs to know, we have the Level K primer from The Good and the Beautiful. I'm using Classical Conversations Foundations, but you might not be a CC family, so you wouldn't need this necessarily. And we have, I would say for geography, for history, I really love my very first world book. We got this through a Timberdoodle kit that I got with my daughter. So I would say for preschool, I did order a Timberdoodle kit for Lena. And what I loved is that the investment was great because now I'm using it for Nigel and then I'll use it for a third child eventually. So this came in the Timberdoodle kit, preschool pre-K kit, my very first world book. So this is something I would just sit and read with him. I also love this. It talks about all of the very important science subjects and nature. So the Berenstain Bears Big Book of Science and Nature, that also came in the Timberdoodle kit, and I'm reusing it, but you can find this stuff online and just buy it individually or through Timberdoodle. The emotions cards, this one, and the feelings flashcards also came in the Timberdoodle kit. And they love these, and I like working on emotional intelligence and really just talking about, you know, how would you feel if this happened and what could you say to the person. Another great book that came from Timberdoodle is a whole bunch of feelings and what do they mean. So this is great, and I loved reading them with our kids. You know, they're talking about frustrating. What does the word frustrating mean? And when might you feel frustrated and want to give up? Feeling loved. Feeling dread. I mean, these are great words, and to have these conversations with your kids so that they're able to express how they're feeling. I love Kumon and their workbooks. This one is called Thinking Skills. You can buy these individually, or you can buy this bigger one, and all of the subjects come together. So spatial reasoning, logic, same and different creativity. These worksheets are things that I would just sprinkle in a couple worksheets here and there just to give him some practice. So what I like to do is I might rip out maybe 5 to 7 of these and put them in his 5-star binder so that throughout the week we're just working on these, you know, on free time and on this could be independent practice. So these are great thinking skills, critical thinking. Other fun things. This from Kumon, they have great scissor skill books, which we've used all of them, but this one is about folding. So this is great. So just a busy activity for him to do. Scissor skills. Nigel loves to cut. So I just found this one on Amazon because we used all the Kumon. But if you haven't used the Kumon scissor books, check those out. Those are really great. So this is all scissor skills and cutting out, and he loves to cut. Also, we use this, I would say once a month we do a STEM challenge. I do it with both of my children, so you might want to get a level if you have multiple kids, maybe in between. But this is great. Even though it says kindergarten, you can do this with your preschooler, pre-K. And it has a little lesson. So it talks about what animals need. Then there's some practice, even some tracing, some handwriting, some matching. There's a story, and then there's a challenge, and you have to come up with what do animals need, a bunny cage, and then you're going to use these materials, marshmallows and toothpicks, to make a bunny cage. So this is great. We've used this now 3 years in a row, the Smart Start STEM from Evan Moore, publisher. It's a great resource. If you're looking for picture puzzles, this is another just good quality workbook. My first activity books, I got this on Amazon. And my kids absolutely love from Brain Games the sticker by letter or sticker by number. Lena uses the harder ones. But this is a great way to reinforce letters. And you could say, okay, find the A. What sound does the A make? Find B. And so they make beautiful pictures. And we're also talking about ocean life in classical conversations, so I'm tying together the themes. This is something you can take to a restaurant to keep them busy, or afternoon, or just if you're trying to find things that they can keep busy without turning the TV or iPad on. These are great resources. So I just sprinkle these in here and there, and when he wants to do them, or for a station. And then the last thing I want to talk about is the only subscription box that we have, which is my pre-K box. This comes once a month. It's a theme. So this theme is the garden box. And I love it because if you're doing homeschooling with a preschooler, my daughter went to pre-K and my son has not. And so when you go to pre-K, I feel like they do a lot of arts and crafts. So I felt like I was missing a little bit of the arts and crafts piece, but I also don't want to search and hunt and find ideas and gather all the supplies. So I love this. Lindsay has created this. She is the creator of my pre-K box. She's an awesome mom and busy mom, and she came up with this, and I'm so happy that she took the thinking out. And it's shipped right to your home. My kids love it. And it comes with lots of ideas to practice letters, numbers, and lots of different concepts. So check this out. It has the directions. So it has patterns. So we're talking about patterns, garden, bingo, flower shop. So they're learning how to buy and sell and create these beautiful creations. Spin it and plant it. Number game, get into the greenhouse game. And then we have grow a green bean. So there's actually a sprouting seed and they learn to plant and grow. There was a flower craft that they really loved doing. So this provides just a little something extra once a month that I feel is manageable. It's not too much where I feel overwhelmed. I don't have to go and gather all these supplies. We just come, and then it's a way to tie in learning their letters, learning their numbers in a new and fun and exciting way. It's not that expensive. I want to say it's like $35 a month. Check out my pre-K box. If you want a coupon, you can check out my coupon code in the description box. I have a coupon code if you want to try your first box out. So here it is. And then when you're done, you can put it up and even save a lot of the stuff for your younger kids when they get a little bit older. So you can definitely reuse a lot of the materials in here. So my pre-K box. Now I want to show you a lot of fun resources that we use just if we're looking to create stations and keep Nigel busy and some other things. We have a great library of books, and these are all really learning books that we are using this year, whether it's about animal life, plant life, food. I love this. I bought this year because it's going with our classical conversations information, but it's these three books: food anatomy, farm anatomy, and nature anatomy, and they're really beautiful and it's great. So I'm just envisioning sitting on the couch looking at these with my kids, talking about food, farm, and nature, and the illustrations are beautiful. We're doing a flower study, so The Good and the Beautiful has this great flower game, flower books. So this is a little spot that I keep these resources for reading time. So for reading, I would have all of my stuff here, and then this is some extra learning, hands-on, felt money, flashcards, learning locks, some stuff that I pick up at that dollar section in Target. And in here I have flashcards or lacing, and then this is just miscellaneous. These are great. The Morphins came in my Timberdoodle kit, and there's 2 different sizes, so we still use those a lot. And then this also came in the Timberdoodle kit that I ordered. But these GeoSmart, they're magnetic. They're like magnetic magnetiles, but they're hollow. We do have some magnetiles mixed in and random things. But Nigel sits and plays with these all the time. So these were an amazing investment. They're a little pricey, but worth the investment. All of my kids use these, and I know they're going to last. We have puzzles over here. We have just more books and extra over here. Now let me take you into these bins. So if I'm looking to set up a station, I would come into these bins. This is the activity bin. So I have games in here. I have bingo, I have Uno, I have math games, I have bananagrams, I have Moby Kids. This is for like bananagrams, but for math. I have these blocks to put words together. I have the Bambino Luck. A lot of this stuff came in our Timberdoodle kit. We have the plus, which I really love. We have plus, the big one, the little ones. We have Wiki Sticks. We have what are these called? Oh yeah, Geo Sticks. We have these boards, the Geo boards with the rubber bands. We have Light Bright. So this is one cabinet that they can come and get something out of. And then over here, we have counting bears. We keep our science kits. We have a money game, science experiment. We have a ton of these smart games. And we have Storytime Chess, which actually won Toy of the Year this past year. So smart games, and it just gives them challenges to do, so I can set them up and say, okay, take out the Snow White smart game, and Nigel sits on the floor if I'm working with Lena, and I have him do some challenges on his own. And then we also have the lab set, which is great. My kids are always asking you to do science, so it's a great way to tie in more science. And that's about it. So like I mentioned before, a lot of this came in, I purchased Timberdoodle kits 2 years in a row. And so I love that the Timberdoodle kits can be a little more expensive, but you're getting supplies that is going to last for multiple children over multiple years. So I felt like it's such a great investment. They're great quality games. I feel like we've built up such a great collection, and we have just different varieties. I love learning through play and just giving them options. And then over here we have, this is our classical conversation. So this is CC Cycle 1 resources. This was from CC Cycle 3. And then here we have things that have to do with reading. I love the SWAT game, using the fly swatter to sound out the sounds. And then these pop for letters are also great. So sight words and then letters. And then we have some dry erase resources. We have some beginner books up here for reading. And then we also have our calendar and some fishing games, some puzzles, some math things to work on. So for math, this is great. Nigel would use this. I don't know if you had one of these when you were a kid, but I did. This is great. And then I also use this for Lena for math flashcards if we're going in the car. I say, okay, we're going to work on addition or subtraction, eventually even multiplication and division. So instead of carrying around 100 flashcards, we can just use this. And then we have a lot of puzzles. This was mine from when I was a kid. We still have it. And then this is a globe that was one of their Christmas presents. It's Leapfrog, and it actually has a screen, and you put it on the globe and it tells you animals and a lot of fun facts. So they'll sit, and this is a great independent activity because they'll say, okay, you do 5 minutes on the globe, and they'll sit and they'll do that by themselves. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I wish everybody an awesome school year. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, or just say hi to the brand new Lyra. Yeah, say hi, honey. Can you wave? Yes. Yeah, you're gonna help me. You're gonna be teacher's pet, aren't you? Yep. That's okay. Say bye. Thanks for watching. Bye.